A great morning it is. I am delighted to be joined by honorary starters and legendary Masters champions, Mr. Jack Nicklaus, Mr. Gary Player, and Mr. Tom Watson. Thank you to all three of you for officially starting the 90th Masters tournament and joining us in the interview room. Mr. Nicklaus, Mr. Player, Mr. Watson, each of you has a vast trove of memories from 140 collective Masters and 37 honorary starter ceremonies. The following question, please. What came to mind when Chairman Ridley introduced you and you once again heard and felt the patrons' excitement and admiration? Please let's start with Jack Nicklaus.
Well, I think it's always nice to have Fred introduce you and everything. And as I walked up to tee, I said, well, I'll have Jackie tee the ball up so I don't fall over. I said, spread out on both sides because I don't want to kill anybody. And if they had been a little closer, I might have. But I got it high enough to hit it about 110 yards over their heads on the left. So, I don't know what was running through my mind other than not hurt anybody, Rob. But it's always a great privilege and an honor to do that and start off the Masters. It's a great place and a great place to be. And I've been doing it for a few years now, so it's pretty special.
Good. Mr. Watson?
When I first played the Masters as an amateur in 1970, I teed off early in the morning to playing with Doug Ford. And I went to the Honorary Starters, and it was something very special. And I continued to do that. And when I teed off early in the tournament when I was playing regularly, I remember seeing Gene Sarazen tee off, and Sam Snead and Byron Nelson, Arnold Palmer, Jack, and Gary. It was something very special. I thought it was just part of the aura of the tournament, and I wanted to witness it.
Mr. Player?
First of all, going to the first tee with the enthusiasm from all the people, which is an essential ingredient in life, I think, enthusiasm. The love they give you walking out there is quite remarkable. Funny enough how your mind goes back very quickly, and I thought of President Eisenhower, who I admired so much, who was a member of this club which started it off. And how much I've loved coming back here every year of my life, an integral part of my life, and such a fantastic tournament. And I think the word as you get older is gratitude. Just to be able to be on that first tee is an honor.
Great. The interview will last approximately 40 minutes, and we ask that your question be directed to a single player, if that's okay. We now are open for questions. The gentleman in the back.
Mr. Nicklaus, as someone who has done it and one of three golfers to have won the Masters back-to-back, what is the key to doing that, and do you think Rory McIlroy could do it this year?
Well, the key, obviously, is to win 2 years in a row. That's the first thing. And I think Roy's the only one who's got a chance to do that this year. What is the key to doing it? You just got to, I played one here in, 65. I broke a tournament record and shot 271. And I don't think when we came back the next year, I remember Gary going to Mr. Roberts and said, Mr. Roberts, the fairways are much longer this year. He said, we're hitting nothing but flyers. And the greens were like rocks. And Mr. Roberts says, he said, why, the greens are kind of exactly the same as they were. Well, they weren't, but that's what he said. But I don't know. Anyway, we shot 288 that year. And I won in a playoff. And, but, you had totally different conditions, and that's what you put up with. If you're going to win 2 years in a row, you find conditions you like, then maybe you don't find conditions you like. But you gotta adjust to both of those, and I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. And I think Rory's quite talented enough to be able to play that. Rory's got the monkey off his back, to start to say, and I think he's got I think he has a very, very good chance to repeat.
Gentleman, the fourth row.
Gary, down up here. You're 90 this year. The wisdom of 90. I'm wondering, looking back on your life, if you could do it all over again, if you would do anything differently.
Absolutely nothing. You know, I was brought up basically in a hobo jungle, and had a lot of adversity in my life, and through this wonderful game of golf, it's you know, to have the opportunity to have traveled more than miles than any human being ever through golf, what it's done for me, I never go to bed one night of my whole life without saying a prayer of thanks. Thank you is a small word with a significant meaning. I wouldn't change anything.
Gentleman next to you.
Yeah, Mr. Player, you played your first Masters in 1957, I believe, and I'm just thinking back to that time. Could you have imagined what this tournament and this week and this event have turned into back when you first played it?
Well, this was my 68th visit here, and you think how this tournament has evolved. And, you know, at one stage I said I thought the Masters was the fourth most important of the four majors, and people were offended by that. But there was a reason. When I was a young man, we stood there, and I'm sure Jack, I don't know about Tom because he's a lot younger than us, but when we stood there, we said, this is putts for the British Open. Or Jack would have said, this is a putt for the US Open. The Masters was just coming along. And they've evolved faster than any other tournament. It's one of the greatest events in the world. It's one of the most beautiful places historically, and it's nothing but admiration for what they've done. I mean, every year you come here, you're absolutely in awe. I mean, buildings that would take years to build, they do in 9 months. It's quite remarkable. So it's now inundated with history, and it'll go even from more strength to strength in the future.
Gentleman in the third row. Have the question, sir.
Jack, it's the 40th anniversary of '86, and I was wondering, we talk about when someone wins their first major, or certainly their first Masters, it changes their life. I'm wondering if and how, if it did, how did winning your last one change your life?
Well, I don't know whether it changed my life, but, you know, it was a nice way to finish a career, you might say, particularly here at Augusta, a place I've loved throughout all the years. And, you know, I remember coming here at 19 and being invited down to Bobby Jones's cabin. My father and I were invited down. And, you know, through the years of the respect I had for Jones and his game and what he meant to the game. And I looked like I was pretty much done with playing golf when I won the Open and the PGA or U.S. Open and PGA in 1980. And I really wasn't, you know, you might say, expecting to win anymore. And all of a sudden, I got a little lightning in a bottle, and it was kind of fun to find that. And at 46, I have a son, Jackie, on the bag, and my sister come to the Masters for the first time since 1959. All very special circumstances. It had been a lot, and it's relates to that. I think to a lot of people, it sort of, I don't know whether the word verified my career, I suppose. Maybe is that a correct word? I don't know. But you know, it was a way that it gained some career-ending respect, I suppose, for that, and for me too. I couldn't have been more thrilled, obviously.
Good, thank you. Mr. Gray, in the back.
Thank you, Rob. Chairman Ridley said yesterday that failure is not an option regarding the length of the golf ball. And I know that all three of you have some thoughts on that as they come to a conclusive decision here in the next several months and years. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are now as this technology is now, guys, hitting par fives in 2, par fours in 1, and it just keeps growing and growing. So I know I'm not supposed to say all three of you, but I think, Mr. Johnson, if you would allow them all to say something, please.
Yes, sir.
Tom, why don't you start?
All three.
I'm in agreement with the move to reduce the distance to the golf ball. How far that is removed is a question. I know when we started playing in the tour with a lot of wound golf balls that many of them are like eggs. You'd hit a golf ball and it'd waver in the air. Today's modern golf balls, they're all good. And with the advent of Titleist's Pro V1 in 2001, the game changed because everybody then produced golf balls that conformed to the USGA standards, but went further. And you add the equipment, the large-headed drivers, and you also have to add the fact that the players are stronger, and they work out and they create more club head speed. So where do you draw the line on the distance is the real question, but I do believe it should be drawn back.
Mr. Player?
I believe the ball should be cut back 60 yards, only for professional golf. Let's leave amateur golf as it is. They're the heart of the game. The professional golf is not. But in regards to professional golf, cut the ball back 60 yards. It's a tragedy. We've got away from the concept of golf when it started originally, a par 5, a par 4, and a par 3. There is no such thing as a par 5 in the world today. We saw Rory hit a 7-iron last year when he won the Masters. They're hitting 8 irons and 7 irons to par 5s. Now, I remember Jack, who was as long as anybody playing golf today other than DeChambeau, at the third hole is vivid in my mind. He used to hit a drive and a wedge. Now they drive over the green. So we're in our infancy. We've never had a big man play golf of note. Wait until LeBron James comes out, Michael Jordan, and they are, because incentivization is so great. There's so much money that people around the world are exercising and going to the gym, which originally I was criticized and condemned for doing that. They're lifting weights now. They'll drive the first green here very easily. They're going to be driving many, many par 4s. So where are we going? And now, but here's the crucial thing. The amount of money that we're spending around the world probably relates to $100 million, whatever the figure is, it's exorbitant. They're putting that money into making golf courses longer. We're running out of water in the world. It's fertilization, machinery is so expensive, labor, oil, whatever you want to put in there. Where are we going? That money is being wasted. Or if they cut the ball back, we don't have to make these changes. Look what they've done here. It's amazing when you think what this golf course used to play and what it plays now. That money could be allocated to African-American areas where they need to be able to play golf and encourage them to play golf, for schools, for hospitals. We're just wasting the money. That's the crucial thing for me. And I don't know where we're going. I mean, what's going to happen in 30 years' time is going to be beyond one's imagination.
Mr. Nicklaus?
Well, I first went to the USGA in 1977 when the Titleist came out with a big diplo golf ball. I saw it went further. And they said, oh, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, but 1995, when they first brought out the composite golf balls, the golf ball through from 1930 to about 95, the golf ball probably increased maybe 5 or 6 yards through just the skill of a manufacturer to make it more consistent and better. From 1995 to about 2005, the ball increased about 50 yards. That was just through them being able to circumvent the rules of what they are and allow the ball to go further. Now, obviously, what does that do? That makes everything. Gary and Tom are both very accurate in what they're saying about what's going on, and the golf ball needs to be reined in. I mean, what they're doing right now is throwing a deck chair off the Titanic, And it's just, it's not really getting enough done. It needs to really come back. A lot of people don't like that, but I think Gary is absolutely right. Where it's land costs, water, fertilizer costs to play the game of golf, the time it takes to play. All those things are factors in why the golf ball needs to come back. Now, the program that they have, as I understand it, will amount to about 12 yards for maybe a Roy McIlroy, but it'll amount to you all out there less than a yard. So it really isn't going to affect you very much, but it will affect the pros a little bit. And that's a little bit close to the bifurcation that Gary was talking about. But my feeling is that they're never going to bring it back to the level they need to bring it back to. And I mean, Bobby Jones in his I guess, I don't know which book it was, one of his last books, he wrote in it, he says, the biggest danger we have in the game of golf today is how far the golf ball goes and where it may go. Now, that's back 1930s sometime. And, it really hasn't changed. So we need to really, it needs to come back just for the sake of the game and the preservation. I mean, Augusta's had the ability to be able to go buy part of another golf course to lengthen the 13th hole. I mean, who could afford that? I mean, there's any place else that can afford that, and it's not necessary. The 13th hole was one of the great holes of the game of golf, if the golf ball went the right distance without having to change it.
But also, the trouble is that if this does occur, being such a litigious society, there's going to be lawsuits, and I'm sure the RNA and the USGA don't want to be involved in that because these lawsuits take for years and years and years. I'm sure they don't want to cut the ball back. And I mean, Bobby Jones, so what you said is so wise that 30, 40 years ago he said this.
We have some questions at the back. You, sir, in the seventh row.
Tom, as the last winning American captain in a Ryder Cup on European soil, who do you think should be captain in a dare manner now that Tiger's out the equation? And as a follow-up, would you like to be in Luke Donald's shoes as he goes for the unprecedented hat-trick of wins?
Well, it comes down to the team, that how they play. That's what determines who wins and who loses the Ryder Cup. Captain has certainly a part of that. But you put the onus on the players themselves. This last Ryder Cup, it was an amazing event for 3 days. The first 2 days it was a whitewash. And the last day it almost became another whitewash to the other way. The competition is based on the players. If the players perform, you win. If they don't perform, you lose. And the captain can do so much, but it really goes down to the players. As far as who should be the Ryder Cup captain, that's really out of my arena. I don't really have much of an opinion on that. Basically, the captain is there to organize, create the teams. That's the most important job of a captain. And to be there when it's necessary to say something to the player. That's the job of the captain. As far as who should be the captain, that's not in my arena.
Yes, sir.
Jack, in 1998, a year after Tiger set the record here, you almost won this tournament at age 58. Did the fact that you finished ahead of Tiger on the leaderboard that year mean something to you, and if so, why?
Which
1998, at age 58, you had a chance here to win the tournament a year after Tiger set the record.
I finished ahead of Tiger on the leaderboard.
You did, yes.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Nice going, Jack.
But since you're compared historically...
I didn't win the tournament, no.
You and Tiger are always going to be compared historically, so did it have meaning in that context for you?
I never thought about it until you asked about it. Would it have a meaning? No, not really. I mean, to me, wherever you finish in a tournament is really not that important unless you win. Mm-hmm. And, I finished second 19 times in majors, and To me, you just kicked myself for finishing 19 times. I mean, it should have won some.
That was a good thing.
That's what? That's what?
It's a good thing you finished second 19 times.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, it was a good thing, but I didn't like it. But anyway, I don't think it's important too much about that. That would never enter my mind. The last time that I played with Tiger in 2000 at Louisville, at Valhalla, and we played the first 2 rounds together. And after playing with him for 2 rounds, when he was in the prime of his career, I said, I should have passed the baton a long time ago. He was pretty good, and he was really good. And I was really bad.
Scott?
Mr. Nicklaus, it's a very special ceremony that you all take part of this morning. And I know Sam Snead played as long as he could to the end on that first tee, and Byron Nelson chose he said it was too hard to get ready for that one shot every year, and he retired from that role. What is sort of your thoughts? Would you expect to keep coming here year after year and playing as long as you can?
Well, I don't know. I think that I was a little worried. I had carpal tunnel surgery about 5-6 weeks ago, and I was worried about being able to hold on to the golf club and hurt somebody. That was my issue today. And I was fortunate that I got it over somebody's head. I didn't hit it very well, but I got it over their heads and didn't hurt anybody. So as long as I can still hit a golf ball and do it. I mean, I played once this year. I played in February, and I played once last year. And, I don't really play golf anymore. So but it's such a nice ceremony. It's a real honor to be invited. I hope to be able to do it as long as I can not kill anybody.
The gentleman in the next to last row. Yes, sir.
Mr. Watson, if you could make one change to one hole on this course, what would it be and why?
I'd fill in the creek in front of number 12.
Touche, Tom.
Good move.
Because that's the critical hole in the golf course, to be honest with you. And I think everybody in this room understands that.
How many times you ever hit in the water?
I don't brag that you only hit in the water once, right?
Once.
Yeah, but I've hit it more than one time,
I just
Jack.
asked the question. Gary, have you?
I didn't count how many times I'd hit in the water, but it was too many times.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Actually, it's a great example for golf architects to realize you don't have to make the holes all that long. I mean, look at that, it's an 8-iron, and it's crippled more people than polio. I mean, this hole is really, that's some hole. I mean, and the most miracle of all times, when Fred Couples stuck on the bank. But you think of everybody, look what happened when Tiger won the last time. 3 guys came along with double bogeys.
That's right.
No, it's
And
great.
how about Jordan Spieth?
It's a great hole.
Jordan Spieth might have hurt his career. A 70, what did he have, a 4 or 5 shot lead? Jordan Spieth. I think he had a 5-shot lead going into that hole. I think the secret to that hole is to have always made your, funny enough, Bobby Jones said to me, make your pin at the back of the green. And there's a lot of merit in that. You can always, I mean, I knocked it in the hole from the bunker one year. You can't knock it in from the water unless you've got a hell of an underwater stroke.
Next question, please, sir, in the back.
This is for anyone who has an opinion on it. The major championship schedule's been condensed to within about 100 or so days to make way for the FedEx Cup playoffs and some years for the Olympics. Do you all have, does anybody have a view on whether that's a little bit too tight of a window to play 4 majors within such a short span of time?
You want me to handle it to start with? I don't like it that short. But I tell you what has happened. If you looked at the four tournaments, the Masters, weather always plays a factor. Wind, cold, whatever it might be. You went to the U.S. Open in June. You always, generally speaking, weather always played a factor. You went to the Open Championship in Scotland or England, the weather always played a factor. You came back to the PGA Championship in August and the weather was very benign. By moving the PGA Championship to May, all of a sudden we have weather becoming part of that too. So all 4 championships can be determined a large time by whatever can happen with the weather. I think that's a good thing. However, I'd love to see them spread a little bit more, only because I think it really concentrates too much emphasis on too short a period of time. And there's too many other tournaments that are good tournaments that get shut out because of that.
Tom, would you like to share an opinion on that?
No.
Okay, Mr. Player?
My father was to make a living, he had to leave school at 15 to support families. And the only job he could get at that stage was in a gold mine, of which he went down for 30 years, 8,000 feet every week of his life. And he loved golf. And I vividly remember saying, Dad, what do you think I should do about my schedule? He said, son, remember this, it's in the mind. He said, if I could play golf every week of my life, I wouldn't take a week off compared to what I'm doing now. So we do get spoilt. I think we get spoilt to a great degree. How many people in the world can have the opportunity of making tens of millions of dollars and being fussy about it?
Question in the back, sir.
Okay.
Jack, just over here. Just curious if you had a message for Tiger with everything that he's going through at the moment. And if I may, Tom, I'm just curious to get your thoughts on Brooks Koepka returning to the PGA Tour and Patrick Reed seeking the same reinstatement, and your thoughts on PGA Tour and Live Golf at the moment.
I'm getting part of it, but some of it I lost in your accent. I got something. You asked something about Tiger.
Did you have a message for Tiger at the moment with everything that he's going through?
I just, get whatever it needs to help you and get back, because I think golf needs him and would love to have him back.
And Tom, just your thoughts on Brooks Koepka?
I think the tour made a decision that to renege on what they promised when the players left for Live, they felt that the compensation that he's paid is to be good enough. I thought that the Live players, when they left, they were supposed to be banned for life. And if I was commissioner, this is what I would have done. I would have said, if you're finished with your contract with Live Golf, if you want to play the PGA Tour again, you come back and you must play the Korn Ferry Tour for a year to qualify for it. But they saw it differently, and when the players left, they violated the number one rule that we really had out here to protect the sponsors. The sponsors need players. They need the names to be able to to promote their tournaments. And if the players play wherever they want to play without a conflicting event rule where you had to seek the permission of the PGA Tour to play in a tournament opposite a PGA Tour tournament, the sponsors would be hurt by that. And I think we all understood that. And when the players left for Live, I think it was basically over. They chose to go for the money, which is fine. But to return the tour, I thought was a non-starter, but apparently it's not.
Question in the front, sir.
A similar question to Gary. If Tiger Woods were to come to you for advice right now, what would you tell him?
It's very easy. The human being is so critical of everything. If I or any of you in this room had the pain that Tiger Woods had, think of the excruciating pain that this man has been going through for a long time. And I personally think, in my opinion, if I'm right or wrong, I'm sorry, but he was trying to be a Navy SEAL scout for a while. And funny enough, I had a friend who was a Navy SEAL scout. And he said this long ago. He said, Tiger will really suffer in future with his back and his legs. And look what's happened. I think it's 20 operations on one, either the back or the legs, but many, many operations on his leg and his back. So he's in pain. Do I blame him for taking medicine? Hell no. He has sleep deprivation. Do I blame him for taking something to help him sleep? No. But I don't think he should drive a car. When you're taking that medicine, it's dangerous when you're driving a car. Same as it's dangerous when you look at your cell phone in the car. There's 6,000 accidents a day in America in motor cars. So I just think all he's got to do is just not drive a car and get a chauffeur. I mean, my reflexes, I think, are as good as when I was 20, but I don't drive anymore. I get a chauffeur. And I think that's the answer to it. And, but my heart goes out for him. I mean, there's nothing worse than living in pain every day of your life. You can't think of anything worse. So I just hope he can get it all sorted out, because he's such an asset to golf and has done so much for the game. I mean, there was never, when we were young people, there were no blacks playing the tour, guys. I remember going to Charlie Sifford in 1957, and I said, Mr. Sifford, how did you play today? I'm not allowed to play, I'm black. So I experienced apartheid in South Africa and in America. And Tiger comes along, and you realize what he does for the black man around the world. You can never work out what he's done for golf. So my heart goes out for him.
Yes, sir.
Jack, going back to 1986, anyone who watched that thinks it was the greatest Masters, if not the greatest tournament they've ever seen. I'm curious, where does it rank for you in your pantheon of Masters victories?
Oh, absolutely number one.
How about for overall?
I don't know. You know, I'm answering for myself. I mean, you know, they. I don't know whether, you know, you get your own judgment of what it is. I mean, from my standpoint, obviously, it was. People say, what was your favorite win? And I loved them all, but I said, obviously, 86 was the one that I wasn't expected to win. And I was over the hill and the whole routine, and I won. So that was very special. But it would have to be the most special to me, absolutely. But you know, how does it go with everybody? I mean, Tom's got his special win. I'm sure that Gary has his special win, and I'm sure that you know, Arnold had his special win, and so forth.
We have time for one more question. Yes, sir. In the middle.
Jack, when the writer Dave Kindred, he missed one.
I'm sorry. Start over.
Right here. The writer Dave Kindred, he covered the game.
Ryder Dave what?
Writer Dave Kindred, he covered the game for many years. Do you remember Dave?
Ryder.
Yes, sorry. Dave missed one Masters in 52 years that he was coming here, and it was 1986. You heard about that later and wrote him a letter sort of saying how much you admired that he chose to go to his son's wedding instead of come to the Masters. You wrote a lot of letters kind of throughout your life. I'm kind of wondering what motivated you to reach out and write letters to people like that, like Dave, just sort of to let them know that you appreciated that their values were sort of in line with yours.
I don't know. It's just sort of what I see different things that happen in different people and different things that go on, and some things move me and to do things like that, and I do. You know, I think that we all need to know that somebody cares about you, and that it's you know, I suppose a lot of it comes from the blessing that. You know, I know that both Gary and I have, and Tom isn't quite as far along with, you know, as many grandchildren and great-grandchildren that we have, that, you know, you start to see all the different things and the help that they need and how they need to be mentored, you might say, in life, and how they, you know, how you need to be a role model to them. Those are all things that are important, and when you have friends of yours who are doing different things, and so sometimes you say, "Hey, reach out and tell them how you feel."
Thanks.
Mr. Player, any concluding thoughts for our press conference today, sir?
I think it's fantastic. Isn't it wonderful to be able to discuss all these things, particularly with two great champions like this who've contributed so much to the game? Thank you.
Mr. Watson, any concluding thoughts?
It's always a pleasure to be at the Masters. When I was a kid, I watched the Masters 58, 60, 62, 64, and then this guy came along and beat my king right here.
Sorry.
It's always been it was the beginning of golf in Kansas City, and the Masters tournament came on, and it got you so pumped up for the game, and it still does.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Well done. Once again, it is a joy and honor to be with you this morning. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all very much.
Awesome. Awesome.